it okay if I pull you on right now?
Yeah, cool.
Okay. Right. Hi guys, I have Nathan. Okay, now I need to just take that off quickly. So, guys, we are celebrating Heritage Day, and so we're just having a virtual festival the whole day here at School Corridor. And I have an amazing guest now, and our guest is Nathan Cottle. Now, Nathan Cottle has a super story. He's currently the foreman at Allo High School, and so he's going to tell us his story. So, Nathan, welcome to School Corridor. Lovely to
Welcome,
have you here,
and
bro.
you remember we all know our traditions. When we see a super race, we always want to. I'm welcome and I'm pleased and I'm thank you that you invited me to this
Yes.
event.
Yeah, thanks so much, Nathan, for coming. Let me just pull your name on. And your name is Doc. Blue, so I can't even pull up. Nathan, thanks for joining us. So, you know, it's Heritage Day, and I like the fact that you have all your grandchildren. I think it is your grandchildren there, eh?
Yeah, and my other kids are here, but they just went to the mall quick. They'll be back later in about 10 minutes
Okay.
time.
Okay. Now, Nathan, it's Heritage Day, and we just want you to tell us what is Heritage Day for you? What does it mean for you? And tell us a little bit about Nathan. Tell us about your heritage, your lineage. Okay,
Let,
so the
let,
floor is
let,
yours.
let me start off by saying heritage to me is I dotted something down. It's to an extent it's a practice and traditions that's
Mm.
passed on from parents to children, but also with that it is passed on from family, community, and places that you grew up. That to me is heritage.
Oh.
I want to tell you, this is everything I want to tell you is true. Um, Sometimes we look for things, you
Mm.
know, we look for things and we think we're looking for this because we want or we need. um, when I met my wife a couple of years back, one of the first things that she told me, she was about 20 years old, she told me, I need to know who's my dad,
Okay.
who's my biological father. She
Mm.
didn't know my biological father, and she went on this crusade to find a biological father. Now, to her at the time was just that she wanted to find a biological father. That's all. And we lived in Mitchell's Plain. I lived in Woodstock. We moved to Mitchell's Plain. She lived in Claremont and Rosebank and other areas and Newlands, and they moved to Mitchell's Plain. And eventually, she got a job at Nampak. My wife is boarded now, but she was the national director for HR for Nampak. But with all of this,
Mm.
being the Nampak director for HR, knows everything that you would want. There's all the money, all the glamour, and all of. But deep down, she was still looking for a father,
Mm.
a biological father. And then people used to come up to her at the factory and say, Teresa, you look like Mark, or you look like this one or that one. And she asks, who's this people? And she goes back to her family and asks, hey, who's my father?
Mm.
Who is he? And there was all of the stories. He's dead, he ran away, and all of these stories.
Mm.
But the one thing that came out after a couple of years, we were married then already. The one thing that came out was that they said his name was Pang, but his nickname was Pang, but his name is James. He's the
Okay.
biological father.
Yeah.
And he's from Menenberg. Yeah, now you're thinking Pang, Menenberg. Stories, stories. And people kept on saying that work with her, you look like Royston, you look like Quinton, you look like Mark. And then this one guy said, you look like Pang, man. Now she told him, look at you. Do you know a guy by the name of Pang there in Menenberg? And he says, yeah, let me phone my mother. And he phones his mother and he tells my wife, nah, Pang is dead, man. My wife said, yo, is he dead? Then he says, wait, there's two Pangs, man. Let me phone my mother back again. He phones the mother back again. The mother says, no, there's another Pang in Teaser Road in Menenberg. Um, my wife tells him, listen here, take me to Pang.
Mm.
Take me to Pang's house, whoever this Pang is.
Mm.
And off they go. And by this time, we already got our third kid already, Miles. And she rocks up there by Pang's house in Tees Road, and and she meets. He's not there though. His wife is there.
Mm.
Now she was born before he was married.
Mm.
So and they are three children, and she would be the eldest of the three boys, Mark, Royston, and Quentin.
Mm.
And she comes there and she tells the wife, I'm coming here to see Pang because she don't know his name is James. Because now this guy must just said it's Pang.
Mm.
And she comes there and she says, can I see this guy? And look at you, I'm this woman, I'm this child. I don't want anything. I'm just coming here to find out who's this guy. You
Mm.
know, I'm told he's my father. And they phone him and he comes home from work. He works at Snookies. He's a truck driver, long distance truck driver. And he comes home and he looks at her and he says, I can't even argue about this because you look like my mother,
Oh.
like her grandmother.
Oh wow.
And then he tells her, can I give you a kiss on the cheek? And then it was really emotional because, you know, sometimes she was looking for a father figure, but in actual fact, what she was looking for, she was actually looking for a heritage.
Wow.
It wasn't actually, you know, yes, she was looking for a father. She wanted to know who he is. She wanted to know where she came from. She wanted to know the lineage. But subconsciously, without her knowing, she wanted to know her heritage, where she comes from. You know, this that I have, the freckles that I have, the way I speak, the way I do things. She didn't know she was actually looking for that.
Mm.
And and that was an amazing thing in terms of heritage. And then while I was growing up, I had a
Yeah.
father.
Nathan, I
My
just want to,
nephews,
Nathan, I just want to say hi to the guys who are on listening to your fantastic story, and you can also say hi to them. So to those of you who are
hi there, everybody listening. And like I said earlier, previously, you know, part of our cultures in our country, you know, our people used to, when they speak to superior race, they would take off their caps and say, thank you for allowing me to be part of this program.
so
Thanks.
you take some school corridors also from that race now. You say,
Yes. I don't know who's there. There might be a superior race.
and
It's a part of our heritage.
yeah, that concept you're obviously going to tackle. But I just want to say hi to the guys quickly, Nathan. Thanks for coming on, guys. It's Heritage Day. We're just running a whole day and we're letting people tell their fabulous story. And so we have Nathan Cottle on, and Nathan is a colorful person with a colorful history, and he's got so many stories, and he's going to really just, just keep you sitting at the edge of your seat. So he was just telling us one part of the story, so I'm going to hand over to him. But you can post comments, you can say hi to Nathan, and you can tell us whether you're enjoying it, and give your story in the comments as well. Thanks so much for being here. So Nathan, back to you. So
Yes,
now we
so
got Pang. Pang
yeah,
gave
we
the
got
kiss on the
Pang,
cheek.
and then my father,
Mm.
his name is Peter Cottle, but he called himself Peter C.
Oh.
Peter C. And he, as as I grew up, I noticed of all the things my father did, he was a fantastic guy. But one thing that like irritated me and worked on my nerves when this guy speaks, and there's a mirror nearby.
Yeah.
He's always looking into the mirror when he's talking. He'll have a heated argument with my mother, but he's always glancing over to the mirror. And I was just thinking, what gaan aan met die boy? Hy kyk nie skielik. And but I never asked him, but was this something that I thought, why is my dad doing this? Why is he every time glancing over and looking in the mirror? He's got a massive argument with my mother. Maybe he didn't come home or whatever reason. And he's having this argument. And he's if there's a mirror around, he'll be glancing into the mirror. I never asked him why. Um, my eldest daughter got born, Kim. She's here now. Kim gets born, and as Kim grows up, I see Kim also looking in the mirror. And I thought, okay, this is a girly thing. You know, she talks, she does exactly the same what my father does. Talk to you, but every time just glancing over to the mirror. And I thought, but I saw this before already. maybe this is the girly thing. Here's the one. Come here, Kimmy.
Yeah, come,
Um,
Kimmy.
and and she's the one
Hi,
that always
Kimmy.
used to glance. She still does it. And then and I have another child. This child doesn't do it. It skipped me also. I'm glad it skipped me from this glance. It looks very conceited. Glancing into the mirror. And Kim has children.
Mm.
And her two boys. The one is a swimmer,
Oh.
Shane,
Hello. Hello.
Israel. And and they too like to look into the mirror. And not look but glance. As if you don't see what they're doing. They will just look into the mirror and be playing in front of the mirror. And I thought, okay, maybe this is a coincidence. She, my son has a child, Nova. Nova's 3 years old. She does the exact same things. Now, the three of them together, the smartest part, if you want to control them, have a big mirror and allow them to play. They'll go nowhere other than playing in front of that mirror and trying to show that they're not looking into the mirror between the three of them. My point is, when the traditions, the
Yes.
values,
Yes.
the 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 lineage.
Mm.
You sometimes think you're doing things because you are doing it.
Mm.
You are doing it because that's you.
Mm.
You are saying things, you behave in a certain way, you cut your hair a certain way, you speak in a certain way, you think that's you most of the time, if not all of the time. It is what has been handed down.
Mm.
It has been handed down. So you're not a product of yourself. You're a product of your ancestors.
Mm.
And there's nothing you can do about your ancestors. There's always something you can do about your descendants.
Mm.
But ancestors you can't. But these things that you do and the way you behave and the way you speak. My father had a I wonder walked my father, he was a bit drunk. Uh, and
Mm.
I was walking with him in Greatmore Street in Woodstock. And I'm walking with him, taking him home. And I said, Daddy, come and go home, young. And we're walking. And this guy comes down the road, one of those hippies there in Woodstock. And he shouts over to my father. He says, Hey, Pete, how do you do? My father said, I do what I like. Now, the same type of sarcasm, you can call it,
Uh,
or cheekiness, my son has. He has the same attitude like my father. And I look at him many times and I think, Sy is dieselfde soos jou oupa.
uh,
Sy is dieselfde soos jou oupa.
uh,
But you see, heritage, sometimes you find yourself in situations because of your heritage.
mm.
Sometimes it's good
Mm.
and sometimes it's bad.
Mm.
Um, I, for one, in terms of my heritage,
Mm.
I was incarcerated as a political prisoner in 1986
Mm.
on the 15th of June.
Mm.
And, and I wasn't there, I wasn't arrested because of anything else. I was purely arrested because of my heritage,
Mm.
because who I am, the way I look, the
Mm.
way I speak, where I lived, the
Mm.
family I have, the lineage of my family. I was arrested purely on that basis. Put aside all other things, put
Mm.
aside the political convictions, put aside your ideologies, put all of that aside.
Mm.
Me, like so many others, we were arrested because of our heritage.
Mm.
And on the 15th of June, 1986, um, I left home. Now I had a most probably that was maybe from one of my uncles. Um, I had not so good record at home, not such a good record in terms of my behavior. And and they tell me that Uncle Ernest, my uncle, that's my grandmother told me that I have a lot of his traits and a lot of his um, traditions and craziness going in him that I have in me. Be that as it may, and rock up there, get arrested on this day, on the 15th of June is a Sunday. I'm arrested and I'm arrested at, I don't know if other political prisoners were ever arrested at a prison itself. I'm arrested at the prison and then kept at the prison. I'm coming to visit somebody. And I'm arrested in the visiting box while I'm talking to somebody, like I'm talking to you. And I'm arrested in this visiting box at the maximum section at Brandford Prison, which was at that time like a notorious prison. And they tell me, hey, this chief, the head of the prison, he say, I say, comrade, I think, wait, I'm going to speak English to this guy, man. Doesn't sound like he knows liquor English. I say, no, I'm not a comrade. I'm a friend, yes, but I don't know that term you're using, comrade. Isn't that also friend? Uh, so I'm a friend. I don't know if I'm your friend. I'm being like a harakat, like a cheeky and so on with him. And he tells me, I seen that you're like so smart and you so cheeky and everything. We're gonna deal with you, man. I didn't answer him. I thought, go man, there's nothing you can do to me actually. But in the meantime, I'm hearing everything being locked there. And in prison, if they lock something, it's like very loud. It echoes, clang, clang, clang. The whole bloody place echoes up. And then they said they're going to phone the security police for me. I said, yeah, I phoned them. These guys come. They first of all do nothing. They just engage me and to find out. One of the first things, part of your heritage, asked me, where do you live? Now, this is in Worcester. My first time in Worcester, they said, where do you live? I said, Cape Town. They said, oh, you, yeah, julle. Julle is die mense wat alles. Julle kom maak die plek die mekaar. Ek sê, van die Kaap? Ek sê, ja. Waar in die Kaap? Ek sê, Mrs. Plain. But at the time, I was living in Van Halen Park. Do you know that place? Bahala Park. I was living, we called it that. Van Halen Park, Mr. Koi, man. Bahala Park. I was living at the time in Van Halen Park. But I told them, no, I'm living in Superman. They say, julle is die mense wat die moeilikheid die kom maak. Ja, kwai. They say, kyk jy nou, is vir jou, moet jy opsluit hier. Want sy is 'n regiment vir die land en so man. They keep me there. But at this very prison, there's, I said, your lineage and the community shapes you. And the values and traditions of the communities also has an impact on you in terms of your heritage.
Yeah.
And at this particular maximum security prison, a 60% people that comes out of District 6 where I grew up, where I lived. Some of them come out of Woodstock, where I lived, where I grew up. Where my father was born in Kapini Street, but where he grew up most of his life. And these guys are shouting, hey, native, wat gaan aan? Because I got normal clothes on. Hulle het almal groen aan. En wat gaan aan, native, wat? I just made like it, ek weet nie, vra vir hulle. It's going crazy there on the prison on the Sunday. Because they can't understand what's happening. I'm kept there, and they decide, no, they must take me away from here because I know too many people that lived in my area, and they calling me on the name, and they calling me NATO and Needles. That's all my different name, NATO, Needles. And I said, nah, it's quiet. They said, right, we're going to take you to Worcester. To Worcester prison. But they don't tell me, like, there's no social conversation that you're having. They just come once, and they take me, I'm a week there, and they take me away from there, and they take me down to Worcester police station first. And there they start assaulting me, and I'm all battered and bruised, and I'm telling you, I always use I always say that I was beaten to such an extent that I was between a June and a July. Why? Ek is getorture, hulle vat electric wires, hulle sit by my genitals, hulle trek my mustache, they pull at my hair, and they're just going like boss on me. They're just doing about everything, the security police. And eventually that's done. I'm assigned a document which says I'm being released. This is in the police station in the yard.
Yeah.
Sign the document. I think released. They're written ontslaan. Ontslaan is mos huis toe. So okay, ek het die pak gevat is alright. Ek gaan huis toe gaan die document sign. Not knowing that ontslaan doesn't mean that you are no longer at this prison. Sy is ontslaan van die gevangenis. Not released in terms of being free. No, that's something different. And I signed this document and I thought, good shot, man. Okay, I'm all banged up and it's fine, it's cool. I'm going as long as I'm going home. It's still Sunday, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. They load us load me into a van and off we go. And van has got blinds and you can't see, not supposed to see where you're going to. And we pull up pull up and I get out and I see, but this is another prison. I
Mm,
don't know who is this prison.
mm,
Get out, sit there, process me in the reception area. Like a lot of our people, ons werk meeste van die tyd in ontvangs instead van dispatch.
mm.
Ons wil ontvang. Ons wil nie dispatch nie. En I'm process hier in ontvangs.
Yes.
There's no dispatch taking place there. They haven't got a dispatch. They only got the function. They process me, color your eyes and all of that, write it down, take photos. And I realized these people can't read and write properly because they told me I must write my own name. You know,
Yeah.
I thought, hello with you, Nathan this man. I write my name for my pic. And I'm
Uh,
standing my pic. I take the photo. Now on that, I just want to go a little bit back quickly in terms of the name.
mm.
And my first encounter with the security police was in 1982,
Oh.
February. And when my mother came to visit me, she didn't come visit me, man. She came to look if am I still there at Central Police Station in town.
Yeah.
Die lijkt nog altijd hier. And my mother says she comes and she oh this guy, this boertjie behind the counter, she ask him what's up?
Nathan is also a grandpa guy, so obviously the grandchild wants to speak to grandpa.
They inside there, she could do my daughter Kiki. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So my mother says she asked this guy, hey, is this guy here? His name is Nathan Cottle. My mother said, look through the book there, and they say, oh Nathan, that Jewish guy. No, he's doing okay. No, my mom she's thinking a Jewish guy because Nathan was a Jewish name. If you look at it,
Yeah.
a Jewish guy. What not like this sitting there inside? What? No, he's doing fine. So yeah, I'm a couple of years back later, and I must write my own name out. I must keep my name. I'm all bleeding. It's a scars here on my face here. Where they hit me with my whole body, and yes, stuff on my body still that they tortured me with. So eventually they booked me in, and I'm assigned to a cell. One of the guys in the cell is who became the first mayor of the Worcester area,
Okay.
Shepherd. He's also there. But then he's just an ordinary guy from Worcester, activist from Worcester.
Mm.
And I request first aid, because I'm all battered and
Yeah.
bruised and bleeding. And they bring this prisoner and they just open it was now a metal door and then a grill,
Mm.
as they call it, a gate.
Yeah.
And they open the door, but they leave the grill closed. And this prisoner's got a first aid box with him.
Mm.
En he tell me, wat sê die ene wat beseer is? Ek sê ja, is ek ja. Hy sê nou kom hier na die grill toe. I don't hear. Ek gaan jou nou uitsort nou. This man takes a bottle of mercure around. He dabs my face and my cheek and my neck. My whole face is red on. I'm thinking, what maak die boy? I maak my full mercure around.
Oh.
I'm like, red. I thought, okay, fine, great. From there, I spent a long time there. And one day we go on a hunger strike. Um, and they after in this hunger strike they transfer us. They say no, we need to break up this guys. They don't tell us that. This has been now afterwards now,
Mm.
and they transfer us to Victor Versteer then, which is now Drakenstein,
Mm.
and they transfer us to there, and we come there. I come there the Saturday afternoon. On a Saturday afternoon, about a month after I was arrested, I come there on a Saturday afternoon, and they're processing me, and they say we need to take our clothes off now, but they haven't got a reception area or ontvangs or a process area like Worcester has and Brandvlei has. It's a special area where they receive their people. They haven't got that.
Oh.
And they say we need to see if there's any tattoos, any marks that we can, book this in and write it down. Standing. This is it's like in a school. You got the corridors, all the discipline schools, you got the corridor coming from the toilets down, and you got the corridor from the two doors going over to each other like that.
Mm.
So you have that intersection there. And I had to take off my clothes there.
Yeah.
And like a school, there's people walking up and down, staff, parents coming in and things like that. Other than parents now, in this instance, a staff walking up and down, female, male, old, young, walking up. To undress myself there, I had to stand in my birthday suit from about 4, 5 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock till about, it was probably 6 o'clock.
Sure.
Was most embarrassing. Most embarrassing. You don't know what to do. There's female wardens walking around. There's other people. It's just most embarrassing. But you know where you come from and the way you were reared and the community you grew up. There's just certain strengths you draw from the community and certain things they teach you and certain things they encourage you with. And I just told myself, hey, this will also go away, man. It's fine. Just close my eyes or something, and just stand with my hands on my head like this, and deal with this. And eventually, I passed doctor because you must go to. I don't know why they let you go past the doctor. This doctor, I never saw a medical doctor that opens your mouth, say, and listen to your heart. Nou, hy's gesond. Nee, nothing. Dis seker gesond vir torture. Dis seker gesond because ek is gesond. Dis vir ander reasons. Hulle kan nie. So, they don't take your blood pressure. They don't do nothing else. Then I'm assigned there, and I'm with these guys there, and there's not this one particular guy, Shooter. Shooter, his nickname is Shooter because he's short, so they call him Shooter. And he requests one day a banjo from the prison, and they give him the banjo. And one night, now, if you can imagine the old houses with the brass pins that you turn like that, then it opens like that. No?
Yeah.
And he's standing by the window and he's singing this song. He's saying, I'm going to say it, I'm not a great singer. He's saying, I'm standing by the window, the teardrops in my eyes, and it's a real song. This
Yeah.
I'm standing by the window, the teardrops in my eyes, I'm looking out the window, but yet I am alone. But I'm standing all alone, all alone, and I'm crying my heart out for you. What hit me bingo is the next line. My mother is a girl, my daddy is a boy. I tell him, nah, my bro, my mommy is a girl and a daddy. What praat sy nou van? Hoe sing sy? My mother is a girl, my daddy is a boy. Is that not obvious? So we decided there again, right? We're going on a hunger strike here, man. But this time we're going to be more organized. We're going to buy the spiritual goods at the store, at the shop there, like baked beans and biscuits, like that. And then we go on this hunger strike. And so we go out. You go out by yourself. You still remember that the old milkies used to have the trolleys they pull like that.
Yeah.
With the milk.
Yeah.
It got doors on each side that can slide open like that.
Yes.
So you go out and you go around and you throw your food and you come back. You don't eat in a hole or something. You eat back in your cell. And when we go out, we just turn the cups upside down. We don't want coffee. We don't want Kool-Aid. We don't want food. And we just go back. But these whiteys were clever, man. They thought, yes, already, like 4 days. But these guys are not looking weak or lame or fainting. And then they decide to search the cell. And they find all the biscuits, all the baked beans, and all these non-perishable goods they find. And they just confiscated that. They said, no gaan julle op 'n hongersloot. And now we used to thinking, no screw die blok serious no for hongersloot. Oh, no, niks nou nie. I never drank so much water ever in my entire life. Then one day they come, after the second, third day they come back. And they say, they ask each one, now you must stand with a card like that, your prison card with your name and number and your offense you committed. And when you were admitted to the prison and your thumbprint on the left. It looked like a hospital card, exactly the same. So you're standing with this, now he comes to each one, the prison chief. Hoekom is jy op 'n hongersloot? Now you say, if you say, I don't believe in my incarceration, no, I believe in the system. No, I believe in the justice system. Then you go to the kulukuts. That is a single cell where they give you half food or quarter. So take one plate, they divide it in either in half or in quarter, and that's your meal for the day.
Oh.
And they come to me and they ask me, hoe kan jy op hongersnood? Ek sê van my vrou en my kind, hulle die kosie, my vrou werkie, ek werkie. So ek voel ek net saam met hulle. Hulle sê okay, sy kan bly. Sy nie sy nie om te gaan na die koeloek toe nie. Hulle sê, oh. Um, then we had the chief of this prison of Drakenstein. He was his name was Same Time.
Yeah.
His nickname
Oh.
Same Time.
Same time.
The reason why I got this nickname is that if you do something that's out of line there, he'll come down. If the prison officials, the wardens can't control you, then he'll come down.
Okay.
And he will say, hey, slaat hom same time and say, maak hom sommer same time and say, and that's now he now got his nickname Same
Same
Time. Now
time.
if they say, oh, gaan vir same time roep, then you know, sy gaan nou same time gebliksem word. And
Yo, it's not a joke, but I mean the way you're telling it. Yeah.
so we're spending this time there, and then there's a massive church there, and then once they come to us, they say, listen here, we will allemaal kerk toe gaan. Kerk toe, ja, ons allemaal wil kerk toe gaan. Because there's nothing else to do. You 23 hours in your cell, half an hour in the morning, you're out, half an hour in the afternoon out. For the next 23 hours, you're locked up in your cell again. So we decided to go to the church. It's a beautiful church in the prison. And here's the preacher. I don't believe he's a preacher now. There's a white guy standing there in front. And he's preaching and he's preaching. And then he makes this example. He says, that was so clean, swart, lillike seentjie, wat na my toe gekom het, and he speaks on, and he says, en toe kom maar so 'n wit, blou, blonderige seentjie, and we sitting, we saying, a swart, lillike seentjie, and there's a whole altercation in the church. It's going wide.
Yeah.
They get us out, they take your cards, they book us, can't go to church anymore. So correct, so gaan nie meer kyk, maar moet kyk toe gaan, klein lillike seentjie, mooi, wit, blou oë, seentjie, wat praat die priest, dis 'n priest man, dis ek van die security polisie wat kom te ry het sy lekker. So we can't go to church anymore. We confine to ourselves. We can go for the half an hour exercise in the morning, and we can go for the half an hour exercise in the day, the afternoon. That's fine. That's fine. And we're quite happy with that. But
So how long did you stay there?
they initially gave me 7 years. Then there was a court action from my wife's side through the South African Council of Churches, a political party on the other side, and for the funding. And all you guys know the Peace and Foundation where Busak was the head of. They was sourcing the money for the court action, and simultaneously they were providing finances for my wife every week, like clockwork. She needed to go down. If you know where's Chapel Street in Woodstock, you go to Chapel Street, just next to the St. Philip's Anglican Church. Office was there. My wife would go there. She would get the money. They would like literally. My wife said they literally give you X amount for food, X amount for going back home for traveling, X amount for the babies things for Kim, nappies and things like that. X amount for this, X. Lots of money. I'm not going to argue about it, but she got over enough money. So yeah, they initially gave 7 years. We launched this court action. The advocate was Michael Donan, and the instructing attorney was Casual Paper that was in the town centre first. In associates, they were Kentucky up in that corridor there. Not school corridor, town corridor.
Yes.
And that was the instructing attorney, and then we launched this court action. We went to the High Court, and when I went, there was 14 other guys that was with me. They were from Brackenfell.
Okay.
One of them was at UWC, was doing his teacher's diploma, and the other one was doing his BA there. But they were going to be teachers at the end of the day. And the 14 of them were also appearing. My case was done. I left. They came late afternoon back. I was already back at prison already. And these guys came back just weeping and wailing. They got 14 years. And we saying, but they are 14. Didn't this judge maybe just look and said, hoeveel straf kan ek vir hulle gee? Okay, hulle is 14. Ons gee hulle 14 jaar elkeen. They, the one, Nikki, very sad. He slept next to me. He couldn't take it anymore. And then one day Nikki tells me that they patrol, it's like this, and down there, you can see them patrolling, and they're patrolling here, like in the quad at the school. They patrol with the dogs. And Nikki told me that dog just told him now he's looking nice today. I said, Nikki, what? Who means you know? How do you mean? He said, no, that dog just told me now that I'm looking like lekker great today. I'm looking smart. I said, are you sure, Nikki? He says, yes, that dog walking there. And then I knew there's something serious happening here. About half an hour after that, Nikki decides to take a blade. We've got access to blades. Takes a blade, and Nikki starts, Nikki starts cutting his wrist.
Sure.
And he's laying here next to me. I don't know what to do. Get up, just do what we think that we must do. The end of that, Nikki doesn't die, but the end of that whole cell is accused of wanting to kill Nikki.
Sure.
And I'm laying next to him. They tell me, if Nikki done it, how come I, when they're doing the investigation, the stupid investigation, they said, I'm laying next to Nikki's about half a meter from me. I'm on this bed. That's the only prison that had beds at that time. I'm laying on this bed. I'm laying on the first bed. Next to me is a wall. There's the toilets. Nikki's half a meter away from me. How come I never, if Nikki was going to cut himself, how come I never saw? This is in the night. Prison lights go off at 9 o'clock. The prison is pitch. There's not a light. The only light is a yellow light that shines in the courtyard. It doesn't even filter into the rooms itself.
Sure.
They say that we wanted to kill Nikki. That was crazy. It was really crazy.
Yeah. So when were you released eventually, Nathan? And then we've got about 5 minutes, and then tell me about your current ministry prison work that you're also doing.
Okay, sure.
And how you after leaving prison, when were you released and all that?
Sure. No, I was released about a year later after the court action. It takes forever, the High Court that time.
Yeah.
About a year later, and that release was also just very crazy. Look at it, you don't know what's going on. You go to court, they handcuff you, they put you in a van, and take you back to prison. You don't know anybody. But one night, after lights is out, 9 o'clock lights is out, they come up to my cell and they shout there. Now, I forgot to say that they booked me in initially. If you go to any records of correctional service, you will not find Nathan Cottle there. They booked me in Nathan Cottle. How they came to that? Nathan Cottle. They come up to the corridor there. I'm laying on the top floor on the maximum. Now every time you must remind them, Nathan Cottle. Nathan. Now, for a split second you don't identify with this, and then hy's mos Zayn and Nathan Nathan Cottle. And then they come this night, Nathan Cottle, and they got a buzzer there, press, they can fix you. And now they go through the same process they did before on Slan. Any questions? You got any ailments? Not ailments that you have, but ailments that you picked up here. Yes. Now we were already schooled already. Any ailments you do have? No, I don't. Are you feeling okay? I'm feeling fine. Fine. Because if you don't say so, then you must stay there until you come right, and then you can go home. And then I'm released this night, and I still don't believe I'm being released. And I'm taken from there from Victor State Drakens and they am taken up back to Worcester. They lost my initial photo that I wrote my name on that I kept. They lost that. They need to process me again in terms of photos. I go back to Worcester, take my name, take my photo again. And from there, they asked me, where do I want to go?
Oh.
Because I'm going home. I heard about the station, Huguenot station. I don't know the station. I just heard. And I said, drop me at Huguenot station. You remember that time trains used to ride through the night?
Yes.
And they take me to Huguenot station and I phoned, I made the reverse call home to my wife. Now my wife was by that time again out of Van Halen Park because she can't pay the rent. So she's at the mother's place.
Mm.
And then I phoned my wife phones the organization and they eventually come pick me up there. But you know, things comes full circle.
Yeah.
To your second question, things come full circle.
Mm.
Today, I'm doing work in the very prison where I was held.
Yeah.
We have a program, my family and I. We have an MPO by the name of Phoenix, and we all know Phoenix is a mythical bird, and a phoenix dies after 500 years, and it burns itself, but out of the ashes rises a new bird, and we believe that's family. That's family. Family seems as if it's dying. There's no hope for them, but out of that ashes comes a new one. So we work in there. We run a program there called Family Values at Rakenstein Prison, and it, it is so a real reminder every week when we go there. I walk past the place where I was standing in my birthday suit. I walk past to my left hand side if I come in, I can see the cell that where I was kept in. And we work with about everybody. We work with just about everybody. From Norman Simon to one of Metro South ex-learners, Cameron Wilson. We work with just about everybody. And we've been working there for quite a time. We also do work, or we also did work at Paulsmore. There they had there's no control there. You work. Yes, sorry. Some cool drink. Yeah, take that cool drink. Sit down, go. So we did work at Portsmouth also, but there was a bit crazy there. My son and myself would come there just very quickly. We'd come there, and they'll take us through, and then we come by a particular gate, and this is now into the section of this particular section of the prison. Then they'll say, "Julle weet mos hoe werk die?" But all the cells is open, eh?
Yeah.
Julle weet hoe werk die? Julle kom mos al lank hier al, ja? Then they open up. Ek moet net 'n kogel maak, man. Then you go, then you literally in that section with about 300-400 guys of the most craziest guys our country produces, and you walk through this corridor, you must still go through another gate down there, but that gate is locked, so you must wait for that gate when not somebody else to open that gate
Yeah.
while you're there. So we're doing this,
Mm.
and when I'm going to say this, it's not me being cocky or arrogant, and I'm saying this, we're doing an amazing job there, and the reason why I'm saying that, you see, when these guys come out, we don't tell them to contact us. My phone is full of these guys that adds us to WhatsApp, speaks to us every day. We speak to them every day. Only encouragement thing, nothing else. We don't want to know why you're there. We don't want to know what you did. You see, what you did is what you did. What we are more concerned about is how we can take you forward.
Yeah.
How we can change things for you. How we can set you up with people. We have employment agencies that we log your name onto. You know, people that won't look at criminal records. Last year Christmas, we also work at Stellenbosch Correctional Center, and last year Christmas, my family and I, we, the prison head there is a lady, governor, it's a female. She heads that prison. She just asked me one day, Nathan, you know what? You know what we want to do? We want to give a Christmas lunch with cake. Not cake. Was it the other cake, man?
Baby.
That fruitcake.
Malva.
Oh, Malva.
Malva. Food, biryani, cool drinks, and cake. Do you think you can organize that for us? For a prison at Stellenbosch?
Yeah.
Me, out of my stupidity, said yes. I don't know where I'm going to get all that. I won't lie to you. On Christmas Day, there was enough cool drink, enough malva. The cream came from Drakenstein because they got a farm with cows.
Okay.
So they milk the cows, and the cream stays over when they do the processing.
Yeah.
Um, and they had cream, we had chicken, we had biryani, we had rice,
Mm,
and cake was given to us by Spa.
mm,
We supplied that whole prison there,
mm,
and that's the type of work we are doing. We're not interested in what you did, who you are.
mm,
Main thing is, you have a family, you did something.
mm.
We're not interested in what you did. You see, why we never ask you what you did? Kimmy, what you did?
Yeah.
Because if we ask you what we did,
Uh,
what you did, then it's going to cloud our initial intention in
mm,
terms of how we want to help. Because if you should tell us who you are,
mm.
what you did, we're always going to look at you with this other eyes.
Yeah.
So we're not interested. We don't. You mustn't even make an announcement to who you are,
Yeah.
or not who you are, what you did.
Yeah.
We're more concerned about when you go home, what you're going to do outside there, what you're going to do with the communities,
Yeah.
and that's the work that we are currently doing.
Yeah.
And at the prison that I was, it wasn't planned. We didn't target that prison. We actually stayed away from that prison. But the chief of the prison came across a document that we sent to them long ago to do work there, and they just phoned me one day and they said, "Can you run this program at our institution?"
Okay.
And we said yes. And you don't normally just run a program. You need to go through a process
Mm.
where they like vet you and what type of program it is worthwhile. We never went through that.
Okay.
So we're working there now for quite some time now.
Yeah. Yo, Nathan, I must say, you've got such a powerful story, and I've got the highest respect for you. I've heard
Thank you.
a lot of what you're saying today, and that's why I was so, excited about having you here so that other people can hear your story. So, guys, if you're watching, then I'm sure you enjoyed. Nathan is a crazy storyteller. He's gone through so many struggles, so many hardships, but he ends on such a positive note, and he's still plying back into society by helping those who have fallen, and he's trying to bring them back and integrate them again. So, Nathan, I just want to say this was such a learning moment again for me, for you just sharing your gifts, not only of storytelling, but your humility and your sense of humor, and just your resilience, just the fact that you never give up. You don't give up on yourself, you don't give up on society, and just because of that, we say we are so proud to have you as one of our compatriots here in South Africa. So thank
Thank you.
you
Thank
so much time with us. I can see your family just makes me feel that that's a real happy family. Even though
you.
when
Yes.
your kids, like you're not saying, "Don't speak to me, I'm being interviewed." No, like you can come in and I can deal with you quickly, and then go off, and then I can continue with my story. So Nathan, you must have a super super day today. Happy Heritage Day, and thank
Thank
you for sharing our story. And guys, if you